Hello, good morning. How are you? I wanted to pop on today and talk to you all about a recent shopping trip that I had. And the reason why I want to talk to you about it is because I have had the opportunity to shop with a fair number of people over the last year and take them out into the mall and also work with them in their closets. And I find that there are some things that happen to us when we go shopping in particular, and I wanted to share with you what happened to me. So I went shopping during Boxing Week with my sister-in-law, which was great. It was fun, but of course the malls were bananas, and we popped into Zara, and I have to say Zara is not really my thing. I've put some of my clients in Zara because it fits their price point and it fits their body shape, but it's been my experience that it doesn't often fit mine. However, I wanted to give it a shot. I saw some cute things and I picked them up. So I just wanted to kind of show them to you. There's some really random ones here. This one is like, I know, kind of 80s, but there was something like very retro about it that I loved. I loved that it had this little peplum at the bottom and thought that it could be a really cute pick. I absolutely love just the colors of this. Even with the skirt that I'm wearing today, it would have been phenomenal. And this is just like a plain graphic tee. I do like to wear them under a blazer. It's kind of an unexpected ad. I picked up this cute little lace number, always a sucker for lace, loved the flowiness of the ribbing. And then the last two pieces, actually picked this t-shirt up with a client when I was out shopping earlier in the year. It does have this like great high-low detail, just a really simple t-shirt with an animal print. And then lastly, I picked this sleeveless black satin number with this cute little button detail at the back. Now, what's really interesting to note about this is I picked what I thought would be my size, but I really didn't know. So some are larges and some are extra larges, and they all fit very differently. Now, the one thing I will say about going shopping is that your size, beyond the fact that it needs to fit you, really doesn't matter. And as a stylist or a style coach, really doesn't matter to me. I don't really care what size you're in. What I really care about though is fit. And so when we're shopping for ourselves, we need to make sure that that becomes our number one driver, is do these clothes fit me? And then also, do they go with other things in our wardrobe? Now, I picked all of these pieces understanding that I had multiple pieces that would go with them. So that's my number one goal. So I was able to hit that goal. However, when I brought these pieces home, I was trying them all on, and you know what? None of them fit. Like, none of them. And I just want to let you know that, I did pick these things up in my size, and either they were too small or too short or just too weird. For instance, this piece here, the way that it fits, it's very short in the torso. And because I'm 5'9", of course, length is something that I have to constantly deal with. Maybe for you, it's that you're petite, or, I think we all think that we're unique and having issues with respect to fit. And I just want to release you of that expectation, because every single person struggles with fit. And, as a rule, these brands have fit models. They actually design for a particular body shape, and that body shape tends to be perfectly proportioned. And the reality is that most of us are not perfectly proportioned. And that is totally okay, and actually is a really, really good thing. But just, this was too short, not to mention it's cheap, polyester. It's not the greatest. It was kind of a fun pick, but it's a definite no when it's going back. Now I move on to this piece, which I do just love. It actually looked beautiful on, but it's too small. And ultimately, I don't imagine that I would be able to size up in this piece and be able to find it at this point. So it's a good piece for me to look at and say, this is something I could look at in the future, but ultimately too small. Now, I did pick up this graphic tee. It fits me. It does absolutely nothing for me. The placement of where the graphic is just not at all flattering on my bust. And this one goes out like an accordion. So if it had actually laid quite straight, these lines can be flattering. But if it goes out like a tent, not flattering, and a front tuck couldn't save it. And then the last two pieces, of course, this t-shirt, too small in the arms, which is something that I always end up having to deal with for myself personally. I do have muscular arms, and I've been working out a lot lately, and so before my body fat comes down, what ends up happening is my arm size actually goes up. That's normal for me. And so I just know a lot of times that these sleeves may or may not work. It depends how they fit, and it depends how where they hit me on my arm. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk to you about this piece because I think this is something that happens to a lot of us. And ultimately, I picked this piece up. I actually even took the tags off it, so I'm going on a hope and a prayer that they'll return it because I still have the tags, but I didn't wear it. Now, what's interesting is, in theory, I like the idea of this shirt. Like a mock turtleneck always works really great for my body shape, and the fact that it's just a plain black satin is great. The problem is it's too short. And so what happens is it kind of billows in a weird way. I tried front tucking and fully tucking it, and it really just doesn't work. And so I want you guys to understand that you do need to go with your gut, and when your gut says no, it really is a no. Take it back. Don't keep it. When we keep things like this is how we end up with orphans in our closet, because ultimately it's just okay. So okay is never good enough, and we shouldn't really be keeping things like this in our closet. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is I had a really interesting experience in trying all of these pieces on where none of them were the right size. And in fact, all of them were pretty much too small, either too short or too small or a combination of all of those things. And what's really interesting for all of us is that sometimes we can make that mean something. And I did. And I even know better. And I know how to coach myself through that. And I work with people like that that have that experience every day. And so here's what I want to give to you. I did allow the fact that clothing didn't fit me to mean something about me. And I was able to talk myself out of that and, go through my thoughts and have better quality thoughts so that I could understand this is why I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling it, and this is how I'm going to transition out of that. And so I just really encourage you to ensure that when you are purchasing clothing, or when you are trying things on, or when you are looking at things that are in your closet that potentially do not fit you, it is imperative that you make that mean nothing about you. Because really and truly, the only thing that means is that there is a piece of clothing in your closet that doesn't fit. That it's not the right size for your body. That doesn't mean you have a good body or a bad body. It doesn't mean that you're skinny or fat. It does not have any value unless you attribute a thought to it. So if you start thinking it's bad that I can't fit that, you're gonna feel really shitty. And so it's really important that we think about our thoughts, which I know sounds crazy, but really consider the quality of the thoughts that you're having when you go shopping, when you try pieces on, when you're taking stuff out of your closet and deciding whether or not it fits you, whether you're going to keep it. Just don't attribute any meaning to that, and really and truly be considerate of the thoughts that you're going to have about what that means. Because what I can really share with you is that I have been able to dress hundreds of bodies, and they're all unique, and we all have little things that we don't like or that we find challenging when we purchase clothes. And what's really interesting is that it really doesn't say anything about you. A size is simply a size, and it doesn't really dictate whether or not something looks good on you. And I guarantee there are brands out there that are looking amazing on you already, that you can find things that are going to fit you perfect, and you're going to look fabulous. And all of this means nothing. So that's just what I really wanted to share with all of you. Please let me know if you have any questions about that upcoming. And I would really invite you to connect with me. Go on my website, sign up for my webinar, and ultimately be on my mailing list so that I can share tips like this for you going forward, and you can feel more confident about what you're wearing, how you're wearing it, and how you think about yourself. Have a wonderful day.